Okay, we've been getting together here for many years to talk about the early days of single sideband. A lot of us are on vacuum tube radios. A number of people are on hybrids. And a lot of people are on modern radios, just want to see what we're doing. And everybody here is welcome that might be interested. Buy-sell trades are appropriate here if they're vintage radio related. And if you're working on a radio and you need some technical advice, I can already hear several people on the frequency here that have got a lot of expertise and can sure share it with you. So come on in and we'll talk about it. I'm on a radio that dates all the way back to 1948 in terms of the signal generation. Collins built a permeability tuned oscillator in 1948 called the 310B, and they used it to excite their AM rigs in those days. I'm using it to excite Heathkit's sideband adapter SB10, which came out in the late 1950s. And it was used to adapt a number of AM radios to a primitive version of single sideband. And I'm using it on a Heathkit novice rig, the DX60. And that's putting out about 50 watts into my Collins 30L1. And looks like we got about 500 watts going into the antenna. Listen to everybody on the Drake 2B, the fabulous early 60s receiver by R.L. Drake Company with the Q multiplier speaker, and I've got the Q multiplier peaked all the way up, trying to quell my Austin noise from my neighborhood here. All right, I'm going to pick up a bunch of people I can hear. We got Rusty here to help out with net control issues, and we're listening for Jay. So let's talk to my neighbor, TXW. What do you say, George? K5LYN.
Hello, Lynn, and all around the net for the finest hour of amateur radio for the week. I'm on the S-line 32S1, 75S3, the 30L1, the Shure 444, out to the dipole in the woods. Not running it super hard, just enough to loosen up the dust. And that is about it. WB5TXW back to net. Over.
As usual, George, I can't think of a way in the world it could sound any better. It's amazing. All right, good to hear you this evening. How about Don, W5DK? Talk to us, Don. Over to you.
Yeah, Lynn. Good evening, everybody. W5DK, I'm in Spring Branch, the pretty one in Comal County, north of San Antonio. And I'm on my normal station. It's a Drake TR4, with a D104 microphone, and I'm running legal. I'm not trying to knock the dust off. I was trying to catch it on fire with the L4 amp. And out to a double extended ZEP antenna. So thanks for running the net. Appreciate you, Lynn, everybody. Back to you, W5DK.
Hey, Don, bring me up to date in terms of your thinking about Swap Fest. You know, I made it down to shirts, and I thought it didn't come up to the level that it was of previous years. And all these others down in South Texas I haven't gone to in a long time. Are you doing stuff other than Belton these days, or where do you think we're going with this?
Oh, I think it was just a Father's Day and crazy hot, along with this, slow decline we got. Just us old stormtroopers that we are. Just keep going.
Okay. I guess that's the best we can make of it. Thanks for your thoughts. I appreciate it. Great signal into Austin this evening. Okay, KE5Q, what do you say, Jim? Over to you. K5LYN.
Yeah, K5LYN in the net. This is KE5Q. Good evening to everybody. And the band seems to be in pretty good shape tonight. Lynn, you're really coming in good there. And tonight we're on the TS530S Shure 444. That's driving the MLA 2500 amp. And we're just letting it kind of loaf along here tonight, and that's going into the Ultimax 8040 double bazooka antenna. Appreciate you calling the net. Let you get on around. K5LYN, KE5Q.
Okay, very well done, Jim. Great to hear you this evening. Let's see how my friend Kenneth is doing this evening. AG5XP, talk to us, Kenneth.
Hello, Lynn.
everybody else on here. Got a great sounding bunch of rigs there. No complaints over here. Tonight I'm on the old Heathkit SB10. Got to grab it onto a Johnson Viking 1 for my oscillator. Some power out to feed my GSB 201 amplifier. Got the D104 microphone. Got to do it about 500 watts or so. Going at a homebrew G5RB antenna. Head back to you, man.
Hey, you got that microphone right. Now tell us the story. What was the deal? Because it's exactly right now.
Oh, I know. Last week I was on a different mic here. That's probably was the main problem. I had a little bit of trouble with my TRBA there, kind of arcing out or whatever. So I think I got all the bugs worked out for the moment. But you know how these things are. They like to breed bugs.
Yeah. Well, when you and I talked to each other on our SB10s, thrown together with a bunch of other junk we had around the shack, it's kind of like going through the life of a time machine. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, my next project is I got a BC 696. I'm going to try to grab this SB10 on the top of that thing and see what it does for me.
Now, what kind of RF outputs that deal got?
I'm going to put out about 50 watts is what they claim. It's got two 1625 tubes in it, running about 600 volts on the plate. Okay. Sounds like a lot of fun. Keep us posted on that project. That's what's neat about these, especially these SB10s, because you can throw them together with whatever junk you had out in the garage and didn't know what else to do with it. So they're a lot of fun. Nice to hear you, Kenneth. Beautiful signal. Okay. Hey, WW9W. Robert, are you lurking out there somewhere? How about it? Well, we heard rumors that he was around. Maybe he'll be back. How about KC5L? Tom, talk to us.
Hey, good evening, Lynn, and everyone on the Boat Anchors Net. Tom, KC5L in San Antonio. Tonight, we're unusual here. We're talking on the Central Electronics 200B with the D104 microphone. It's driving the Central Electronics 600L amplifier. We've got a Johnson KW matchbox and a homebrew doublet up about 15 feet. And we're listening on the R390A. And your Studebaker's got a strong signal in San Antonio this evening. Sounds great, as always. And that's about all I have. So back to you, Lynn, KC5L.
Yeah, okay, Tom. Yeah, this is a fun station. As Tom mentioned, I like to compare it to a 59 Studebaker. I had 3 Studebakers, and they were all built out of junk that the corporation had left over from previous years because they never had any money. And they were a lot of fun to play with, and this station here is a lot like that. Built out of junk I had left over in the garage and didn't know what else to do with. So the comparison is there. Beautiful signal on your Central Electronics. Tom, great to hear you this evening. Hey, and while I'm thinking about it, and in fact you've already done this, if you all will send me some pictures of your station, those of you that have not, Matt's going to post them when he posts the recording of our net. And we got off to a good start on that. So if you haven't sent me a picture yet, let's get it going. And I tried to talk to Doug, WB1E, about it, and his Swan. Found him in the Rocky Mountains touring up in there. He's having a great time on the road in cool weather, unlike where we are here. Okay, Dan, KWOZ, hey, how about it? Talk to us, K5LYN.
Yeah, good evening, Lynn, and everybody else on the Boat Anchors Unlimited Net. This is Dan, KWOZ, downtown Houston, Texas, where we had a pretty good rainfall for about 15 minutes earlier today. That was a welcome sight, but gone now. Anyway, I'm talking on the same thing I usually talk on here, Kenwood CS830, and driving a homebrew pair of 813s, about 800 watts right now. I've got the VFO 230 hooked onto it here, and the display was a little bit dim here, and I was going to open it up and look. Now all of a sudden it's back to the same brightness as the radio, so I'm going to leave it alone. Also, I have the scope hooked up here and the matching speaker and tuner, and I don't have a TL922. I got the homebrew amplifier on here tonight, but otherwise it's just a string of Kenwood stuff. The microphone's Kenwood again, the MC50. And the antenna is an inverted V up about say 40 feet, 42 feet, something like that. That's it from here. I'm just finishing up a new power supply to drive this, or to run this amplifier with, so see if I can get at least a KW out of it when I get it done. Maybe next week, we'll see. Anyway, that's it from here, Lynn. Thanks for letting me sneak in. K5LYN, K8WOZ.
Very fine, Dan. Nicely done. And about your 813, you know, I wish more people would do more with 813s and 400s, because those are tubes that are around. They do a great job. You put a few of them together and you can put out legal limit with them. So I'm glad you've done that. And we're still listening for N5BTM, who built an amplifier out of 4 813s. And we sure would like to be hearing him again. Great to hear you, Dan. Anything else for the net this evening?
No, I guess not. It's interesting. I figured this 2-holer would be my last amplifier, but I've got enough sockets and 400s down here that I think I'm going to build a pair of 400s again and just see what I could do with them, because maybe they were weak tubes, but I never got much than a KW out of a pair of them, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I did talk to Ralph. He keeps saying he's going to be coming back, but he got so much going, I guess. That's it. Thank you, Lynn.
Well, we're still listening for Ralph. He's a great guy, and he scored me a couple of Central Electronics 20As one time. Yeah, and I've got a 400 project, too, around here if I ever can get to it. But I'm doing a tiny house project in the backyard, and everything's got to wait around that. All right, here, K5LT. Hey, Lyle, bring us up to date. Over to you, K5LYN.
Well, good evening, Lynn, and everyone else on the net. This is Lyle, Lima Yankee Lima Echo, K5LT, located outside of Bernie, Texas, about 30-some-odd miles north of San Antonio, up in the hill country. And tonight I am running the usual, running the Heathkit SB101 into the Heathkit SB221 amplifier out to a double extended ZEP antenna run through the cedar trees. And so that's what I got running. So, and that seems, the band seems to be improving a little bit as the sun's going down, so maybe we'll stick it out tonight and see what we get. So, but yeah, Lynn, earlier you were real quiet. I could barely hear you, and you've come way up. So, thanks for looking up. So, back to you, Lynn. K5LYN, K5LT.
Great signal, Lyle. Keep it up. Like to hear it. Okay, I've got MTT Mike and WLF Jimmy, and I'm going to pick up those two, and then Rusty, I'll give it to you, and we got OZZ still on the list. So, Mr. MTT Mike, bring us up to date. K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn. Yeah, this is Mike in Round Rock, and tonight we're on the Collins S-Line winged emblem. It was built in 1961. I'm the second owner of it. After having resurrected it, when I got it 5 or 6 years ago, it had not been operated since the mid-1980s. But it's a 75S2, 32S1, 13B4 station console, and a 30S1 amplifier. And the microphone is Electro Voice 674. So that's the rig we're on tonight, man.
Well, it's as good as it gets. And speaking of pictures, you've got a Collins station there that nobody else has or has ever operated on the net here. So you might think of a picture, Mike, that to get to Matt, and we can put it there with the recordings. And by the way, it's been way too long since you came by here and seen my stuff. So give it a thought. Over.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I've got a little bit of extra time now, so I'll give you a shout someday, and we'll do that. Yeah, this is a nice station. I've also got a 75S2 and a 32S2 that was in an embassy, and I've had it sitting for 3 or 4 years, and with all the audio stuff that I work on, I haven't had an opportunity to get started on restoring that one. So, you know, the list goes on, right?
Oh yeah. I've got a list that's going on too. I keep trying to keep up with it, but yeah, love for you to come by. Last time you were here, you found that my noise source was on the Time Warner wireless router. My current situation, I don't think is solvable, but yeah, you're always welcome here.
Well, I can always bring my little noise finder with me if you want to do a hunt again.
I think we'll find it's the entire universe that I live in here. But yeah, you're always welcome, Mike. Just let me know.
Okay, Roger. Thanks.
Okay, let's see. We got KC5WLF. Jimmy, talk to us.
Okay, Lynn, appreciate it. And hello to you, Mike, over there in Georgetown. I hadn't heard you in a long time. This is Jimmy, KC5WLF, and I'm speaking on my old FT101 Zulu Delta Mark III. It's still kicking, but only thing is, I think something's going on with the audio. I'm gonna be doing some checking on it. The audio keeps on fading in and out, even on you, Lynn, and that's not supposed to be going on. And you can let me know if you will, if my audio on the output's also fading in and out. But I got a feeling I got some capacitor, something on the receive. Needs a little bit of attention. So anyway, but that's all it is, and I'm running on a off-center fed dipole, which is resonant all the way across the band. So I'm really gifted there with a good antenna, and the 101 is running about this thing is got it says 150 watt peak out, but I don't know. That sounds a little much. Anyway, back to you, Lynn, and good evening to everybody. KC5WLF over here at Cedar Park.
Yeah. Okay, Jimmy. No, your transmitted signal sounds fine. So in terms of the receive audio, just check all your switches, rock them back and forth and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes those things like that can be mechanical rather than electrical. So your transmitter is certainly sounding fine. Keep us posted on that project. Nice signal into Austin here. Okay, Rusty, pick it up and run with it. We got OZZ and others out there lurking. Pick it up. K5LYN.
K5LYN, WK5R. Good evening, everybody. And you're still listening to the Boat Anchors Unlimited Net. My call is WK5R. And I'm talking to you on my usual stuff, the Kenwood GS590S. The microphone is a Tascam TM70 dynamic studio mic by TX. And I'm driving the Homebrew GS35B amplifier into a Homebrew fan dipole at 50 feet, and that's where we stand there. So, WB50ZZ, go ahead, Don.
Yeah, this is Don, Duquesne, Texas, running the Heathkit 101. Had a 41000 amplifier, and the antenna is the Bazooka, old Bazooka, 45 feet. Over.
Roger. Sounds good as usual, Don. Appreciate you checking in. Okay, KL7CD. Go ahead, Mike. KL7 Charlie Delta, you there, Mike? Well, he must have stepped away. KB0UOZ, go ahead, Perry.
Yeah, okay, Rusty, thanks for getting me in. Signal's still getting better. It's still a little gooder yet, but it's getting better. Anyway, let's see, I'm back on my hot water 101 this week. This thing shut down on me last week. I thought I was having a little issue with something. It seems like maybe my receive was going down a little bit, and maybe my power wasn't just quite right. But anyway, it shut down last week, and I swapped around to another rig. Anyway, it turned out to be, I wasn't thinking right, but I thought about it overnight, and the next morning I checked it, it was the power supply, went kaput on me, so we traded power supplies and got this 101 back on the air. It's doing what it's supposed to, so it's just I've got to get in there and see what's going on with the power supply. Maybe replace the capacitor too, or maybe Rusty, maybe I'll have to contact you and get you to send me a kit. Anyway, so I'm on the 101 and sure trip before Mike and running the S31000, and I'm hitting it pretty hard. And it seems to be cranking along here real well. And of course running through my Heathkit 2060 tuner and out to my 75 meter wire fed with brother line, so that's kind of a regular story. Rusty, thanks for being here. Good evening, Lee. Good evening to everybody here on the boat anchor net, and we'll ride along, KB0U. Okay.
Okay, Perry. Always no problem ever hearing you. And the green machine is working. We'll catch you next time. Okay, KL7CD. Did you make it back, Mike? He's not there. Maybe he had stormed or something. Okay. Who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
W5RGL, this is Rick in Lampasas.
Okay, Rick in
November 5
Lampasas.
Echo
Go ahead.
Charlie Papa.
Hey, thanks for picking me up there, Rusty. I'm on a Icon 735, but I've got just picked up a Kenwood TS820S, and I'm looking for a microphone. The book says I need an MC50 microphone, so if anybody has one or comparable, I'd sure be interested in having one.
Okay. Yeah, any 600 ohm dynamic microphone will work on that thing. So the 600 ohm version of the Shure 444D or the MC50, MC60, any of those will work on that. Anything like that will work on that amp radio.
Okay, well, it's got that 4-pin. I didn't know what difference that made on it, but anyway, if anybody has one that they're willing to get rid of, well, I can be reached at W5RGL at proton.me. I appreciate that for picking me up, Rusty.
Okay. You're quite welcome, and we'll be listening for you to get the 820 on the air there. Catch you next time. Okay, who's next for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
November 5 Echo Charlie Papa.
Echo Charlie Papa, go ahead.
Hey, good evening. Jeff here in Kilgore, and we'll say good evening to Lynn. Nothing for the net, just been listening. It's been a while. We've been in and out of the hospital, so finally getting back on the air again. So, yeah, pleasant evening to everybody. N5ECP.
Oh, Jeff, I didn't recognize that was you. Good evening. I'm going to be in Kilgore Friday. I got to meet a guy down there to pick up an old Swan rig to work on. But nice hearing you again there, Jeff, and we'll catch you later on. All right. Who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
Whiskey 6, Mike Whiskey Sugar.
Hey, good evening, Marshall. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing there, Rusty? I didn't turn my amp on. I probably should have, but hang on. Oh, yeah, that'll give you a little bit more power there. Anyway, running the TS5 830 tonight into the Henry and going to a 75 meter full loop, up about 25 feet. And most of the guys are coming in, but I don't hear all of them very well. Rusty, go ahead.
Okay, Marshall. Yeah, you went from an S9 to 3 bars of red up there, so the Henry's working.
Okay, fine business. Well, I appreciate you and Lynn running the net, and be looking forward to seeing you again next Wednesday.
Okay, Marshall. Appreciate you checking in. All right, who's next for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now. Anybody anywhere wants to check into the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now. Well, then, it might be a relatively short night. Mike disappeared. He may have had storms up there. K5LYN, WK5R. Back to you.
Okay, how's this frequency, Rusty? I might be just up the band a little bit. What do you think? K5LYN.
I put super glue on it. Sounds good to me.
Okay, we'll go with this. And hey, ECP, wow, it's been a long, long time. Great to hear you. All right, yeah, well, you know, here in midsummer like this, the propagation doesn't amount to much. So it may be a little bit shorter than usual. Anybody else want to talk vintage radio? K5LYN, listening?
Alpha 5, Edward David X-Ray.
Edward David X-Ray. Hey, Byron, why don't you talk a long time? Let me pull this thing down the band a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Whiskey Alpha 5 Edward David X-Ray in Bluffdale, Texas, where it's been kind of hot today. But, okay, we're getting used to it, I guess, in a manner of speaking. I'm also on a I'm on a Kenwood 820S tonight. Barefoot, of course, up into the old inverted V, MC50 mic. And that's about all I know for sure. I was going to ask Rusty again if he's sure about that 600 ohm impedance though for a Kenwood hybrid. I think that requires a high impedance mic there, Rusty, not a low impedance. At least that's what I always run. So shout out down there to Lampasas to old Rick there. So back to that, Glenn. You're sounding good tonight. You, like they said, you have come up a lot since 7:30 up here in Bluffdale. K5LYN, WA5EDX.
Hey, right quick, Byron, I was tuning this thing. Where'd you say you are? Are you at Jermaine QTH?
Oh, yeah, I'm home.
Okay, yeah, sounding really good. What else is new? What new projects you got lined up there?
Oh, man, I've got 100 irons in the fire. Can't get any of them fixed. I was playing around this afternoon with 2-meter rigs for a friend of mine and working on a display here on this 820. So it's just 100 things, not getting anything fixed, nothing's getting finished, just getting further behind. Spinning my wheels, that's my trade. Lynn, over.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Me too. Well, that's all we can do in the summer, you know, is hide out from the heat and do things that we wouldn't do otherwise in the shack. So I'm with you on that. Good to hear you, Byron. Anything else for the group this evening?
Negative, sir.
All right. Who else is out there? K5LYN listening?
Hey, Lynn, N5ACP.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Hey, kid, how you been doing? How things on your side of the state?
Well, okay, but where in the world? You and I haven't talked to each other for some years, have we?
It's been a number of years. We lately have been dealing with some health issues and about 4 months in and out of the hospital and had 3 surgeries within a week, and you know, it's part of getting old.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I don't think there's a bone in my body that is acting like it used to when I was younger. And then, of course, I grew up in skin cancer territory, the Texas Panhandle, you know, and now I have to go in and see the dermatologist. I'm seeing 2 different dermatologists at the same time. They're trying to get me straightened out. So I know the feeling. I'm with you all the way.
Okay, very good. Hey, before I forget, Rusty, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, Jeff. Go ahead.
Hey, Rusty, you're going to be coming to Kilgore. You do know about our broadcast museum, right?
Your broadcast what?
Museum?
Oh, yes. I've never been to it, but I know about it.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. If everything goes well, as soon as they finish working on Main Street, the resurfacing and what have you, we're probably going to be having a tailgate get-together there. They said that we could have it as soon as the street is finished, and there'll be ample parking and all, but it's also the Broadcasters Hall of Fame now over.
Roger, I am familiar with that. I've never been there. It would be interesting to go see. I'm going to be at the Denny's there on 42. Like you turn to go down to the college down there. I got to meet a guy from Longview down. Well, he's actually from Gilmer, but he has stores in Longview to pick up a Swan rig that I rebuilt the power supply on, and see if I can figure out why the radio ain't working.
Oh, yeah, turn it on. Oh, nice. Devil made me say that. Anyways, okay. Yeah, in fact, if everything works out well, we're going to set up a AM amateur station there at the museum. Chuck, the owner, has acquired equipment, and he's a non-operating ham, real busy with the museum, and he's got about 4 broadcast stations. we'll keep everybody advised of all that going on.
Roger, Roger. Talking about that AM deal, that reminds me when I first met you on the air there. If you remember way back there, you were my first contact on HF, and I couldn't figure out where you was at. And you and Ozone and Bob were down on AM, and you came up the sideband and talked to me for a little bit.
There you go. Well, I won't tie the net up anymore. We'll try and check in on a regular basis here. And oh, by the way, we're just running an FT2000D barefoot, 200 watts. I do have an FTDX10, but you know, what good is 100 watts on 75 meters? Over.
Roger, Roger. Okay, great to hear from you, Jeff. I'm going to talk to you later. Back over to you, Lynn.
Okay. Hey, a lot of fun tonight. Old friends we haven't talked to in forever. And I'm very curious about that museum y'all are working on up there. Okay, let's see. Who else for the Boat Anchors Net this evening? K5LYN, listening.
KL7 Charlie Delta.
Okay, hey, Rusty, there's Mike. You can hear him a lot better than I can.
Okay. Well, it's about time you showed back up, Mike. Go ahead.
I was across the road talking to my neighbor here in Arkansas. She's having some issues with selling a boat and that sort of. I got kind of set up with her. Anyway, this is KL7 Charlie Delta. My name is Mike. I'm in Greers Ferry, Arkansas, about 70 miles north of Little Rock, near Greers Ferry Lake. Tonight I'm on the old Hallicrafter Twins. Receiver is an SX17. Transmitter is an HC44. Got the matching speaker and power supply. That runs to a 3001 amplifier running about 500 watts out to via college to a double bazooka up about 45 feet. We're in the hill country of Arkansas. Anyway, I hope you're copying me there, Rusty. It's a report from KL7 Charlie Delta.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, you're coming in real well. Are you anywhere close to Searcy?
I'm about 30 to 35 miles from Searcy, 30 to 35 miles from Conway. So I'm kind of in a hole, but yeah, I'm close to Searcy.
Roger, I was just curious. I got cousins that live up there in Searcy. All right. Appreciate you checking in there. I called you a while ago, but I could say you were across the street visiting with your neighbor there, so that's a good thing to do. We'll look for you later then. All right. Back to you, Lynn.
Okay. All right. Well, we've had a lot of folks come by here this evening. It's been quite a lot of fun. Anybody else want to talk vintage radio? This is K5LYN. Len in Austin, listening.
KWOZ again.
Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, earlier when you checked in, Lynn, you said you had a TA-33. Was it at 15 or 50 feet?
It's 16 feet, 1-6.
Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's in my oak tree, Dan. Would you like me to take a picture and send it to you?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I used to have one up about 15 feet. Of course, we lived in the flatland up north there. The thing worked very well in the winter time, but I just wondered if that really was 16.
Yeah, it is. And I wish I could put the reflector on it, but the branches of the tree didn't let me do it. I can rotate it about 15 or 20 degrees, and that's about it.
Wow. Okay. Thanks very much. I'd like to see a picture of that.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture. It's, life in Central Austin is not exactly ideal for amateur radio, but we make the best of it. Anything else on your end, Dan?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right, who else for the net? K5LYN, listening. Okay, last call on my part. Somebody want to talk vintage radio? I'm here. Rusty, see who else is lurking out there?
All right. Seems like I can't wind her up here. Okay, it's WK5R. We're in our last go around for the Boat Anchors Unlimited net. Anybody else left out there that wants to check in before we close the net, come now. final call. Anybody anywhere for the Boat Anchors Unlimited net? We're fixing to close the door. Come now. Well, it's been a great night. Talked to people we hadn't talked to in a long time. We'll look for y'all all next week. Appreciate everybody that checked in. Well, this is WK5R now, closing the Boat Anchors Unlimited net and returning the frequency to normal amateur abuse.